spook easily stung.
Have you ever explored the depths of fear? Have you ever wondered what depravity dwells within the imagination of a storyteller that prompts them to exhume horrors untold and expose those horrors to unsuspecting audiences? Some are repulsed, and some are shaken. However, there are those who are invigorated. So to those demented souls, we invite you to journey inward into the dark bowels of human imagination. Press play, and you will discover what's in the podcast.
One wish, Willow. You only get one wish. I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
I love you so much. Love. Only the branch of a willow tree could conjure.
It's weird how you two are dating all of a sudden. Like, super dating.
Jeez, what kind of spells you put on her? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
And welcome back to another edition of What's in the Podcast. And for today on this podcast that I love so much, today we are talking about a movie that pretty much has the entire horror world ablaze, becoming the next in a long line of YouTubers really slaying it in the horror field. But this one came out of the gate swinging and is still, as of recording, is still killing it in the box office, holding up, actually standing up to Spielberg, standing up to Master of the Universe, standing up to so many, and yet still swinging, and even standing up against one of its fellow YouTubers as well. That's right. Today we are talking about Obsession, directed by Curry Barker. His first feature debut right after his very successful, very minuscule budget Milk and Cereal that came out. But of course, me talking about this one alone would be kind of awkward given a lot of the heavy themes in this one. So since I'm noticing a trend every time she's on the show, we always seem to have her on to talk about what is happening right now in movies at the time. You know her and love her from our Long Legs episode, Nosferatu, Talk to Me. It is Janie. Welcome back.
Hey.
Hey. Oh yeah. No, I kind of noticed this as every time you've been on, it's like going, it's always like the newest thing that's like like right then and there at that moment. So I'm like, yeah, let's just make that the thing every time you're on. It'll just be that.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Obsession. I think the first thing to be said about this, did this sucker punch you? Did you think this was going to become like the big one of the year thus far?
No, I had no idea. Like, I had heard rumblings of it, with people that had watched it before at the movie festivals, but I had no idea it was going to become the phenomenon that it is and how much discourse was going to surround it.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh no, I wasn't even thinking about the discourse, but yeah, no, the hype was definitely big on this one because yeah, on the festival circuit, that was the one that everyone was raving about. I remember vividly Dead Meat. I think they went to Fantastic Fest or Overlook, and they said they saw it and they were like country mile better than everything. And they said there was a lot of great stuff, but that one beat everything by a country mile. So I'm like going, that is pretty high praise, because we've got a whole bunch of other good stuff that's been popping up this year. So the idea that they're saying that that's going to be the one, and I was like, that's heavy hype. Is this going to fulfill it? So I guess the good way to kick this off, let's go ahead and talk about our respective first screenings of this one. So how was it? What was your first for you? Like, how was that?
I like my jaw hit the floor with so much of it. And just even coming out of there, I just walked out quietly because I was stunned. I can't. Yeah, I was just stunned. It was great.
Was it a full audience? Was the whole
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
good.
absolutely. And what was great about it is it was a respectful audience because you never know what you're going to get now with
Mhm.
so many people laughing in all the wrong places, and you just never know when they're going to act stupid. But no, the audience was great. Everyone laughed at the right parts awkwardly, and when we
Mhm.
walked out, everybody was just kind of like, "Wow."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
great.
think, yeah, I kind of, I remember seeing it on opening weekend, I think opening night. in fact. So it was a good loaded house. No one knew what they were in for on this sucker. I mean, and I think a lot of the hype really did come from the festival circuit. I mean, and it was said, even though the movie was only made for a little under $1 million, it Focus Features of all of them won the bidding war and paid something of the sum of like 15 million to buy this movie. And they were competing against the other big leaguers, Neon and A24.
A24, yes.
Yeah, all of them wanted this sucker. So when you got some of the top names in studio horror right now begging for your movie, especially someone who was a YouTuber first, which and came along with Milk and Cereal. Actually, that's a good place to start. Milk and Cereal. I mean, did you catch that one?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one in preparation for this. I had no idea from Adam what the heck this was even about. But yeah, for an $800 budget, and I've made a film for $2,000 out of a friend's cat cafe, and you could still see the budget on that sucker. But I watched Milk and Cereal, I couldn't even see the seams of an $800 budget. I would have thought at the max probably maybe 5 grand easy for what he accomplished on Milk and Cereal.
Right. Did you see The Chair? Which I remember watching The Chair, a short film by Curry Barker,
Mhm.
before, and I did not realize that he was the one that directed that film also, which I
Okay, no,
thought
I
was
didn't.
great.
Yeah, I knew that he made the chair, and that was kind of like an early kind of proof of
Hmm.
concept for Obsession. No, I didn't know where to find that. I'm assuming it was on his YouTube channel. I'll have to pick that up
Yes,
sooner than
YouTube
later.
is where I found it. But yeah, so that kind of blew me away because I remember watching it and I did a reaction to that one. And
Okay.
then, yeah, I did a reaction, and it's cool because Anthony Pavone, I think is his name, he played Reggie on Obsession, and I remember him messaging me, and he's like, "Hey, I caught your reaction to the chair. That is so cool. Thank you
Oh,
for like promoting it." So now when I watch Obsession, I'm like, "I know him. I know this
yeah.
guy."
I
Yeah,
love it when that happens.
yeah,
It's always lovely when that happens.
yeah.
Um, I just realized this is also the second time both you and I have reviewed a movie that was done by YouTubers who come from a comedic background as well,
Yes,
because Talk to Me was done by the Philippus, who did comedy with Raka Raka, and now you have Curry Barker here, who he himself started off just doing sketch comedy on his YouTube channel. So, and especially with I believe even the gentleman who directed Backrooms, even he kind of came from YouTube sketch comedy, and naturally Zach Kreger also, and even Josh Rubin, all of them came from comedy first, going into and YouTube, and then just going straight into this. So, I, what is your theory on about the correlation between YouTube sketch comedy going into hardcore horror and just completely changing the game?
I
With
don't know, but I'm loving it. Like it's having such a moment right now.
hmm Yeah, I'll say flat out, I love the idea that the major studios are kind of pissing themselves at the prospect that these guys who are making movies like for nothing without studio help and then just getting the money themselves, and then the studios are begging them for now. I also heard another rumor that in getting the money for it, this just came out, this news story came out, they offered one studio offered him, or one backer offered him 2 million for him to rewrite the script and make Bear a hero
Yes,
character.
I just heard that too.
Yeah, that is for everything that we're going to discuss in a bit. That is just insane. That is just insane, but also pretty much proving just how way behind the time studios are right now.
Which makes you wonder, like, okay, so who sold their soul and actually rewrote everything? It
Yeah.
starts to make you wonder what other movies have done
Oh,
this?
I can think of well, I mean, even movies that we've even discussed here, like I can think of so many. In fact, we even tackled The Hunger a couple weeks ago, and that one was another one with a compromised ending because the studios demanded it, even though it was pretty much in conflict of spirit with the original book that it was based on. So it wouldn't be uncommon for especially a lot of novice filmmakers who are trying to break into the business that they would compromise their vision just for the sake of getting their foot in the door. So it's clear that we've come a very long way where indie filmmakers are able to stick by their vision and come out on top in the grand scheme of things. And I love just the fact that studios are probably shitting themselves realizing that this little under $1 million film is kicking the ass of The Mandalorian and Grogu and all these
Yes.
other ones and just slaughtering the competition. And all of them are like, where are we going wrong, man? What are we doing?
Yep. I love that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So, I suppose now for everyone tuning in, we will be going hardcore spoilers on this because in order to discuss the thematic complexities of it, we have to. But to begin, but before I give you the formal spoiler warning, Janie, go ahead and give me a brief synopsis to Obsession.
Okay, so my synopsis is a guy discovers just how deep his shittiness runs when he wishes for his crush to love him more than anyone else in the world.
Even that's debatable. I'm still wondering if he really understands how shitty he really is.
You're so shitty. You don't even know how shitty you are because you're so
Yeah,
shitty.
he really is.
Yeah.
Of course, the breakout star of this is Indy Navarrete, who I know she's done movies before, but her claim to fame prior to this was Superman and Lois. She had a recurring role on that prior to it. So, and and actually, Cooper Tomlinson, who was also in Milk and Cereal, has a supporting role here as his friend Ian. And then you have um, Megan Lawless as Sarah, but then you have Michael Johnston from Teen Wolf playing Bear. So they're kind of like our core four of
Yes.
this particular story. So, uh, all right, I'm trying to think about anything else we could mention beforehand before we pull the plug on the spoiler drain, but I'm gonna have to pull it because we have to go ahead and get the hell into this because we have to because
Oh,
right now
yes.
this movie is already being what people are calling now getting Kubricked. By definition, basically meaning in that's a reference, of course, to the documentary Room 237, talking about how people have come up with these crazy ass interpretations of The Shining to the point where it's like, what the hell are you coming up with? Well, right now, Obsession, that's happening right now with Obsession. And I've heard some wild ass theories. A big one is that the entity that's possessing Nikki after the wish is the spirit of Bear's dead cat,
Of Sandy. Yes. I was just
of
thinking that you read
Sandy.
my mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I
I
heard
love
that
that one.
yeah, I heard that theory like right before my third screening. So I had that in mind when I was watching going, I see where your head's at. Even down to the vomiting and pissing in one spot and staring, waiting for Master to come home.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that
I
kind
mean,
of makes
yeah. Yeah. That's a great example.
sense. I'm sure Curry Barker would be sure, go ahead. You
I'm
know,
sure
that
he's
makes me
getting a
happy.
kick out of all these theories. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, so I guess the only way we can kind of get into a lot of the aforementioned themes, I guess we should just try to go beat for beat as far as the story goes, because I think that's really the best way to kind of decode, or at the very least, try to shed the spotlight on some of the nuances of it. So the movie begins in a diner where we see Bear. The first shot is Bear pouring out his soul, and we've seen romantic comedies that do this, where someone, even Meet the Parents, kind of started like this, where he's pouring out his soul and you think, of course, he's talking with the person he's talking to, and of course, and it's a waitress, and that would be one thing. But then all of a sudden, nope, his best friend Ian is right there shooting down everything he is. So let's go ahead and break down this scene because there's already shenanigans going on with this from the start. So I'm going to say this also first and foremost. While Bear is definitely the bastard of this movie, Ian shares a major portion of the blame.
Freaking Ian, oh my gosh, he makes me so mad. From the beginning, I knew his shady ass, oh, you have to call her Freaky Nikki, you have to be mean to her. I'm like, okay, something's up with that. Because why would
Yeah,
you? Oh, he
yeah.
pisses me off so much.
Yeah, I mean, if we take that first monologue, just that first impassioned monologue, at this point we don't know Bear, don't know him from Adam. In your opinion, just taking that monologue as it is on its own and the way that Michael Johnson delivers it, do you think that that would have sealed the deal, or do you think that would have actually been an endearing pouring of the heart out?
You
Basically, do you
mean,
think it would have worked?
I think so, or at the very least have cleared things up of where he stood with Nikki. Like
Mhm.
that needed to happen. Yeah, if you pour your heart out and she turns you down, but at least you know.
Yeah,
Like that needed to be done. I
exactly.
feel like. So him
Yeah,
telling him not to do that.
yeah. But the first show of his dickitude is the fact that they pull a waitress away from her job to sit down and do this for them. And even worse, is that you hear her giving honest feedback, honest, positive feedback.
From a woman.
Yeah, from a woman, and Ian is talking over her, ignoring her, and even Bear is kind of bobbing off her advice. And I'm like, dude, did you even give her an additional tip for this? I mean, come
Yeah.
on. Her boss,
Yeah.
yeah, her boss is gonna chew her ass out for this.
Yeah. And then Ian just cuts her off.
Yeah, and completely shooting down everything, saying that's horrible, it's terrible. It's like I and yeah, I should have realized that there was more going on to this. But also, when I look at a guy like Ian with his punch and blast face, I just immediately just had him pegged as asshole dude bro best friend who just who claims to know everything about women, but in reality doesn't know it is not shit. Like
Yeah.
at
Totally
all.
clueless. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I've just been around too many like shady ass guys or dicks that from that moment, that's why later on when things were revealed, I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew something was up with him,
Yeah.
besides him just being a dick.
Yeah. I mean, from my own standpoint, when in that first initial scene, I mean, I've seen even I myself, unfortunately, have been awkward like Bear at that time. And speaking from my own perspective, I understand how hard it is to pour your heart out for someone, especially when you are someone who is very clearly introverted and socially awkward, and someone who, as the script even says, is someone who really kind of keeps to himself a lot because in all likelihood he's someone who really has a hard time opening up. And unfortunately, people like that tend to be friends with someone like Ian because Ian just steamrolls over him
Mhm.
for the most part. So it's little wonder he has a hard time expressing himself. But and funny enough, when I get to my random recommendation, I just watched a movie that kind of has a similar edge to this. But unfortunately, the one problem when you surround yourself with toxic friends is that toxicity taints you and it becomes something far worse. Problem is, but this movie's so subtle, you don't peg it until it's too late.
Right. And
Mm,
another thing, it's like I wanted to jump in there and be like, okay, Bear, look at Ian. Does he have a woman? Like, who are you taking advice from? What? Yeah.
yeah. Taking advice from the schlubby best friend
Yeah.
versus the really gracious, very attentive, and very responsive waitress who is taking the time out of her hand. And here's the funny thing. I was looking at this waitress going like, what, if Nikki weren't in the picture, I think this waitress might
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think she would have been like, what, he's awkward and this is weird what he's doing, but I really admire his sincerity. I'm surprised she didn't ask me. I was like, are you saying,
Yeah.
talk to
Yeah.
me?
She was so sweet. I loved her.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I want a whole movie around her, like afterwards, like finding it like where she like maybe because I've heard tell that Curry Barker does have other plans like set in the obsession world. Like maybe we find out her whole story afterwards. That'd
Yeah.
yeah, no, I hope she's fine. I hope she's in a good place.
You know, she almost wasn't in the movie because I ran across her TikTok when I was scrolling, doom scrolling, and she was talking about how she almost was not in the movie because they were going to have a different beginning to the movie.
Yeah,
But I'm glad she was in it.
I am too. It sets the tone perfectly. It tells you that this will be have a little bit of a sense of humor, but right out of the gate, and even better, this is the kind of scenario that you run into in romantic comedies where it's supposed to be funny and it's supposed to be endearing.
Mhm.
And but with repeat viewings, this scene immediately sets up how sinister all the proceedings afterwards are going to be because you realize this is a person who is pretty much destined for disaster because he is just getting bad advice and even worse, taking bad advice.
Mhm.
Yeah. So first scene out of the way, then he comes home and I'm gonna say this. I mean, I'm being a cat owner myself. When I see dead cat on the ground, I'm gonna scrutinize it, going like, "Someone killed your beanie baby, dude."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I pretty much pegged immediately. That was a pretty fake cat, but either way, it's always it. But you can tell he has the capacity to feel love because that he obviously loved that cat.
Listen, thank goodness it was obviously fake cat because I cannot do animal deaths in movies. It is really hard for me to do that. But
I,
like you said, it
it
looked
looked like
like
a
a
fake.
beanie baby. Yeah,
Yeah,
thankfully.
I think for I suppose this may have to be a topic for another day, like for another podcast. But for I myself, just because I know with the Humane Society around, like they quite, I mean, we have gone a long way since Cannibal Holocaust. So I'm pretty sure um, no movie is ever gonna legitimately hurt an animal. And in horror, I'm sorry, especially in creature feed, like I remember people getting all uppity about eight-legged freaks, about the fact that a cat gets killed and a dog gets killed. I'm going,
Yeah.
spiders, dude. They're an
Yeah.
omnivorous species. I'm sorry. If it's tinier than them, they're going to go for it. It's like, yeah, at least the cat put up a good fight.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how stressed I was watching Good Boy. That was
Oh,
so stressful for me. Being a dog owner, I love well, any animals really, but
mm, yeah, precisely. But it was a good stroke showing how broken up about it that bear was when you see him
Mhm.
just bawling over it. 'Cause that's a good little way to bait the audience into feeling some kind of sympathy for him, like right at
But
the start of the movie.
you want to hear something kind of interesting that I heard was somebody interpreting it as Bear wasn't so much crying for his cat as he was crying over having these unrequited feelings for Nikki, which on my rewatch, I don't think so. I thought he was crying for his cat.
I think, well, um, here's the thing. I think you both are right. Because a lot of times people with anxiety and who are incredibly introverted, many times it does take one thing to just bring everything crashing down. So he could have been just crying for like a whole multitude of things. Because that can happen where sometimes with additional stress piled on, piled on, piled on, someone can just break down and cry. And in fact, when Nikki calls to invite him out or nudge him to come out, he's immediately giving the same kind of response that most people, especially with acute depression or anxiety, will do when they don't want to. They'll just simply say they have plans or something and just try to get out of it and just try their best but unfortunately, because he's so smitten, I'm kind of, no, I can't do it. I was going to say sticky with Nikki, but I'm like, no, not yet. No, not yet. But because he's so bound to, so heel boy to Nikki at her behest. He was like, nah, he had to go. He had to go. Though I will say this, another reason to say fuck Ian. Bear's legitimately trying to find a time to tell Nikki, and here you are supposed to be helping him, but you're saying, oh no, but your feelings are not as important compared to trivia night.
Right. Yeah, at every moment he's like, "Don't do it. Not yet. Don't do it."
It's like, what makes you think that confessing your love is going to throw you off your trivia game, dude? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Now, let's talk about worst case. Well, we've seen the worst case scenario, but taking the one wish Willow out of the equation, if Bear had confessed his feelings, I mean, what would you say? Like, I mean, how would you interpret the worst case scenario and how you think Bear would probably react to it?
Worst case scenario, if he had confessed his feelings
And she said no.
and she said no, I think that would have just like that night would not have been good because of him losing his cat. And he
Hmm.
would have been devastated, but it still would have been way better than the way everything went. At
Yeah.
least then he knew where he stood.
Hmm.
He wouldn't have to guess, does she feel this way about me? And he could finally figure out a way to move on and go talk to the cute waitress from the beginning.
Yeah, talk to the waitress, or even
Yes.
just now that that baggage is gone, focus on, or at the very least, just chill out and just have his regular conversation with Sarah. As we gradually
Yes.
discover, we find out Sarah has had a crush on Bear for a while, but in a very similar fashion is unrequited. But this is where the whole notion of chemistry comes in. It's like they don't have to say anything to her just because body language connection. That's really where relationship starts is when two people have such good chemistry that they just naturally gravitate to each other.
Right.
Yeah. So, um, uh, I don't know. See, the one thing I did know is Bear didn't say anything about Sandy until like a little point. Even when he said toasting to Sandy, he didn't explain why until later on. And he told Sarah first before he even remotely told Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a first little tip off. But the sick part is if he confesses love, I think if he confessed to Nikki, she shot him down. I think he probably would have tried to use Dead Cat as a sympathy card.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, yeah, I suppose. Ooh, I don't think we've ever really talked about, well, we've alluded to it in prior episodes, but I think now's a great time to talk about the concept of the nice guy trope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for all you incels who are for some who are listening to this podcast, who I'm assuming I'm going to assume, I'm sure there's someone out there being all like, yeah, fuck that libtard. I'm just going to listen to him, this kind of thing. Um, yeah, for those at home, the nice guy trope is unfortunately something that has plagued many a parties and all that, specifically the notion of the guys who say, "Why aren't they dating me? I'm such a nice guy." And you think you are that, when in reality, you are not taking the time to survey your person to maybe realize maybe you're not so great.
Right. I
Yeah.
keep thinking of Promising Young Woman. That blew me away.
Uh,
Promising Young Woman.
I still need to watch that one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, talk about a nice
Mhm.
guy trope in that one. Yes, definitely recommend that you go watch that one
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then get back with me on the whole nice guy thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
future episode, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, another one that did it really, really well was Teeth. In fact,
Yes.
Teeth did it extremely well, especially with the first initial decapitation. Did really,
Mm-hmm.
really well. But yeah, so it's that right now with horror, as I'm noticing nowadays, they're doing a great job really showing off that particular trope. And in very apt fashion, some of the best ones always wind up with those assholes getting theirs in spectacular fashion. But in this case, this is probably one of the worst cases of it because not only does he go down, but pretty much everyone goes down around him. So this is like the worst case scenario of someone where we need to have people where people just need to come to
Well, then
terms with their
get your
shit.
shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together. And if you gotta take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together. Get your shit together.
I'm still thinking to myself, I want to punch Ian. I just want to punch it. It's like,
Oh
fuck your
my
trivia,
gosh.
dude. They didn't
Yeah.
even win in the end either. I think from what overheard, they didn't. Yes,
No, they
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. But this is also where we initially meet Nikki to begin with. So let's go ahead and just talk about Nikki before all the shit goes down. So from Bear's perspective, what do you think it is about Nikki that makes her like shit rainbows for him?
Well, she's super cute, so
Mhm.
that's one thing.
Well, that goes, yeah.
Yeah, but she's kind of like the cool girl.
Mhm.
You know, she's like, "Oh, can I, who's got money?" She goes and gives it to the homeless person. Didn't she pay for the
Yeah.
drinks too?
Yeah,
She paid for
oh
the,
yeah, I did love that little bit of, that's honestly just a great bit of stage where, yeah, oh, okay, I'll take a crack. And I was like, ooh, slick.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, it's very good writing, but also, yeah, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Well, not elephant, she's very tiny, but Indy Navarrete, um, just came out the gate swinging when it came to just her presence, her charisma, her energy. Just if I think she knew she had to make sure everyone loved, like, understood why he's pining for Nikki right at the get go.
Right.
Um, and so there's a little. So at any point prior to this point, were you rooting for Bear?
Before this?
Yeah, but before the
Yeah.
One Wish Willow, before the One Wish Willow.
Yeah, before the One Wish Willow. Yeah, I was totally like, "Oh, I want her to feel the same way about him that he does
Yeah.
about her." And yeah, oh, he had me fooled.
Oh yeah. Well, and another key thing that happened, well, the initial part where he buys the one wish will, he's going there to now I've in talking with my regular co-host Natalie, she kind of said that she was observing how it was kind of odd problematic behavior where he hears that she lost a crystal necklace and he hops to it and immediately goes to get a replacement for her. She was saying that can be construed as pretty creepy, almost sociopathic stalker behavior. But I've only even heard other people like argue that that's a good gesture where someone is very clearly paying attention to you and realizes, oh shit, I should probably do something to, fill that hole in their heart kind of thing. But from both sides of that perspective, what do you take on that?
I thought it was sweet and thoughtful. Like if I was just on the phone with him and then he heard that I was upset because I had lost a necklace and then he bought me one, I would just be like, oh, that was so sweet and thoughtful. And see, I'm somebody that I could never, people are like, you're too nice to people and you don't realize when people are coming on to you or they like you. I'm just completely oblivious to that kind of thing. So I'd be like, oh my gosh, my friend got me a necklace. That's so sweet and thoughtful. We were just on the phone and, I was
Mhm.
obviously upset about losing it and he got me one. I'm just a sucker
And
for that.
and
Like, okay.
and the sad part is he doesn't, and he just immediately presumes like the one that she's recommending. And again, another instance of a woman giving him a recommendation and he ignores it because she recommends the particular type of crystal, and he just goes, "Nah." And Nikki would hate that. It's like, how do you know, dude? Get it for her and find out.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
then, I don't think she, in the end, I don't think she's going to care about what kind it is. I think she's just going to be more happy about the
The
gesture.
gesture.
Yeah.
You're a great friend. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, you're a really good friend, and honestly, this means more because it has a story attached to it, and that's going to mean more to me than whatever the heck the crystal represents. It doesn't matter. Instead, you get the One Wish Willow. Now, immediately, you are clocking Bear's intentions with this thing. I mean, if he's saying he's intending to give it to Nikki, I mean, if he actually followed through on that, what would he think the end game would be by that? Do you think she would break it and like wish for him?
yeah. Like, okay, she lost her necklace, but you're gonna give her this one wish willow. Like, I don't know what that was all about.
This $7 novelty item that
Yeah,
may work or may not work, kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Lord knows there's a way you could spin it. I mean, because there's a whole time where she's talking about her ambitions, that she's putting her 2 weeks at their job, that she wants to focus on her writing. I mean, you can spin it in a way that's endearing, where you give her the one wish will and go like, you know what, if ever you want to take that step and just make a wish, and I guarantee it'll come true. And odds are pretty good. Nikki will say, I want everything to work out. Boom.
yeah. Wish for a book deal because she's doing her writing.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, as we see, when someone wishes for something monetarily, clearly that shit works. So, foreshadowing ahead of time. But so even before the wish is made, man, the whole scene in the car is so uncomfortable. Just because I don't know if ever in your life you've had this moment where you want to tell someone something bad and it's just like, and you can't, or you do. It's like your brain's going through so many possibilities of how this is going to go. I mean, did you feel that way?
Yeah, I'm like, Bear, no, don't tell her. Read the room. She's not, because I even noticed when he's like, I got you something, and she's like, ew. When she says
Yeah.
ew, no, like, no, okay, maybe don't tell her. Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta read the room. You gotta read her.
yeah, precise. Well, I think it's also the case where he's confident that he thinks he knows her well enough that she would appreciate it, but then when he's surprised by that,
Hmm.
it's like, okay, clearly you don't really know her well enough to know maybe she doesn't like gifts. Maybe she's not the gifting type.
Right.
I don't think they never really allude to the idea that Bear's ever gotten her anything before. So it's like, do you know her well?
Yeah, which going back to Ian in that first scene, oh, she doesn't like that kind of thing. She doesn't like, like for him to say of the things that he wanted to say, which would go along with being sweet, like giving her a gift. And
Yeah.
Ian was like, oh, she doesn't like that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
hmm
That,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that kind of planted it in his brain. That's probably why he put away the necklace, because he had Ian in his brain saying, "Oh no, she wouldn't like stuff. She wouldn't like that."
She's a
So
cool girl. She wouldn't like.
yeah. So you could even say that Bear's intentions with that one wish willow from the second he bought it was probably entirely selfish from the get-go, but he's masking it, thinking that it, or claiming that it's gonna be for Nikki. So there's a little part of him, I think, probably secretly like thinking, I'll get something cheap, so that way if she says, "No, I don't want it," and then give it back to you, but he never even gets to the point where he gives it to her. So an argument could definitely be made that Bear may have had ill intentions with this thing, and even he didn't realize it until that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that, about why he got it to begin with.
hmm Yeah. Well, anytime you're ever offered the opportunity to have a wish, even if it's like the remote chance, even if, and the thing presents, the one which will present itself as a novelty item, the kind of novelty item you get at a tourist trap or something like that, or even, yeah, a store like this, you never think in a million years a sucker is going to work like at all. But when you're just desperate and you just want some kind of quick solution as opposed to doing the legitimate work, you're always going to want, you're going to go give the absurd a chance.
Yep.
Yeah. And just to show how little he believed the thing would actually work, just the way he just makes the wish, he just goes, "Yeah, I wish Nikki would just let me," and then just breaks it so matter of factly. Most other movies would make such a big epic thing about it. They would the camera would zoom in, it'd be
Yep.
slow motion or anything like that. But I love the way Curry Barker stages this, where just matter of factly, I
So
wish you,
simple.
yeah, so
Mhm.
simple, so natural, and then
Mhm.
cut to the next shot
And then all hell breaks loose.
immediately, immediately. Oh. I just remember first time seeing it at the second you see her standing at the porch, the whole audience was immediately, you could feel the entire audience is like walk on their butts down the reclining seats of the theater.
Yeah.
Because immediately, because most of the time in this scenario, like it's so gradual, but this is like the one where you just immediately know, yeah, this is all right.
Yeah, like totally into effect right away.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, you know
Which
what, you should,
confused me so much.
uh,
Like leading into that next part, confused me so much with all her little glitches and her talking about my cat
yeah,
instead of that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. See, funny enough, it never occurred to me to realize that she was. It wasn't until like midway point, well, actually through a key moment in the movie, I didn't think about the idea that Nikki was possessed. It never even occurred to me
Mhm.
because again, Indy Neveri's performance is so good. The way she transitions from you know
Mhm.
not Nikki to real Nikki, it was so smooth that you're just the interactions at the beginning are just like just natural person, just some tired, not really thinking about what she's saying. I was like, yeah. But oh. Oh my God, that's just the way she shifts.
Mhm.
Oh, so and and only just a minute, and even then, she might even just be in a state of emotional distress because prior to that, Bear did the stupid thing of calling her Freaky Nikki.
I'm like, no, why did you do
Oh,
that, Bear?
the entire audience in my theater just dropped. It's like, oh, oh,
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
And I
I'm like, why?
and she,
Why?
and she gave him an out like immediately afterwards. She
Mhm.
gave him an out. She said, like, do you like me or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, tell her, just do
Tell
it,
her,
get it over with.
tell her you ass.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know, well, again, we'll get into it a little bit later, but I know for a fact Nikki knows. I think she's just so
Yeah.
sick. I think she's just so sick of the games at this point that, and I think she knows that he would never call me Freaky Nikki unless he was trying some kind of thing. So I think she's like,
And I just don't get how the hell you thought it would be a good idea to call her that. Come on, man.
yeah. And you know better. I mean, Bear knows, but again, he's an idiot and he's taking advice from freaking Ian. And as we kind of find, again, foreshadowing for the future, but yeah, we find out there's some, Ian may have other intentions.
Nefarious shit going on
Yeah,
there.
he got some nefarious shit, that derpy little bastard. Derpy little bastard. So, yeah. How do we go? Oh man, how do we go further into this? Because yeah, so gradually it starts going so insane.
Oh
Um,
yeah, how about them starting to like hook up and then she's like, "What the fuck?"
oh
Just I
man,
know. Oh my gosh,
yeah, that is like the first
it was
real
crazy.
tonal scare right there because again our brains are wired to the romantic comedy uh formula where the first kiss is usually like you're hearing like Faith Hill this kiss playing in the background and just them kiss I think that's Faith Hill. Anyway, Faith Hill or Leanne Rimes, I don't know, I hate country.
It's
Anyway,
Faith Hill.
let's Faith
I
Hill.
hate that
Okay,
I know that, but it's Faith Hill.
you live in Bartow and I lived in South Florida
I was
during
gonna say I live in Central Florida, Polk County, so
yeah,
yeah.
and I used to live in South Florida and Davie, Florida, which was basically imitation Redneckville, which was basically old music.
Yeah.
Stuff right there. But either way, that's kind of how the scene typically goes. But I love, and I got to say this for Curry Barker, to do a great any kind of jump scares or any kind of scares period, it's a matter of also just orchestration. just knowing the right moment to strike, knowing how to how to hit to lull the audience into a false sense of security, so you hit them with it. And that first scare when they kiss and she recoils back in horror, it's
Yeah.
such a tonally drastic change from the sweetness and the intimacy of a first kiss, and then just that immediate launch back makes your heart just like skip a beat. That was just crazy.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. And now just knowing what you know, you realize that's the real Nikki freaking out, going like, wait, what the hell? I didn't do that.
Yeah, what am I doing? What's going on? Yeah.
It's like, is there a portal to my brain and John Cusack's trying to puppeteer me? What the hell? Nice. I'm glad you picked
Great
that up.
reference. Great
Yes.
reference.
Good, good. Glad that one landed. All right, there you go. Yeah, because for myself, I've said this before, my primal fear, like my primary fear that terrifies me is the forfeiture of free will, just the idea of someone taking over, you lose your autonomy. So that's why I do sympathize any type of horror movie I see where it involves um, anyone losing their control over themselves. That's a terrifying concept to me. So, and the horrible thing about the thought about Nikki is that she's in there looking out and just not having control, and that's terrifying
You
because
know what it makes me think of, which is horrible, but like, have you ever heard of, because I watch a lot of true crime stuff too, about these women who have turned guys down and like they get hit with battery acid to the face or things like that going on. Just things like that really terrify me. The fact that because you're not returning their affection or whatever feelings that they have, and then they go and do something crazy like that. I'm sorry, but like there's no different
yeah,
with what he did.
yeah. Again,
That's always terrified me.
I'm really kind of laughing about the movie that I'm going to do with my random recommendation because, funny enough, you see something similar to that or to this kind of situation in that movie, but this no notion that I'm pretty sure, anyone, and I'm being gender neutral here because, this happens to guys just as much as it happens to women.
Absolutely.
The idea that when you turn down someone who tries to express affection for you and in the hopes that you'll hook up with them, when you reject them, they could a lot of times they just become a completely different person
Mhm.
because they become a fucking monster because they are taking out their shit on you because they can't admit to the idea that you are not the kind of person that they're into. And
Right.
immediately they're saying, well, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm a nice guy. So it must be you. So the worst thing about Nikki in her situation is that she is witnessing firsthand the real truth about Bear that even Bear doesn't even 100% know yet by this point.
Right.
She's not in control of her person when she kisses him for the first time. And obviously, the emotion of that horror is so powerful that it breaks the hold on her for that brief moment. So, but so I think that's like her first real indicator that Bear is a big walking red flag and this is like the first time she's probably realizing it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
And unfortunately, it took her being the only thing I can think of is like in the sunken place for her to
yeah.
for her to realize that Bear isn't such a nice guy.
Yeah. And even worse is that he doesn't 100% realize it yet.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, he passed the point of no return the second he made that wish. But up to this point, he is still. I love that for a lot of people. I know that they're still trying to be okay with Bear because I do think that he is kind of reacting to a lot of this in a rational way. Because when someone does that, they're going to be like, something's wrong. I should step away. But no, Bear just keeps leaning into it because he's realizing he's getting what he wants.
And you know what really like gets me with him? But no, but you wanted me to. Like how many times
Yeah.
it's like, oh no, but you like he's freaking out. But he knows deep down inside he wished for this. This is
Yeah.
happening because of that. But he's like, but you wanted me to.
Oh
Oh, he
man.
was frustrating me so much with that.
So many times in that scenario where two people at a party, um, they're talking and they get a little close, and even if they're just like breathe the same air with each other, the second she pulls away, the guy's gonna freak out, going, "Well, wait a minute, I thought you wanted this. I thought
Hmm.
you were into this kind of thing." It's like, no, yeah, you're cute and all that, but I don't want to have sex with you right now, buddy.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that scene is. It's just terrifying. Is yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm glad you pointed that out because yeah, Bear saying that is like, you know what you want is like, no, he didn't.
Yeah. It's like he's so on edge and he does that like a few times where he's like, but and he's freaking out and I'm thinking, you fucked up. You know what you're doing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Freaking
Oh
bear.
yeah. And already there's like big red flags saying something is wrong and this needs to be addressed, but Bears just keeps writing it because it's working
Hmm.
out in his favor. So it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, and it can't and then well, obviously Nikki stays with that. But though Bear does do the only thing that he does, which I'll say, okay, good move, is that he sleeps on the floor and lets her sleep on the bed.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's good. Good boy. I don't have to pull out the water bottle. No, 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 no spritzing for you. Yeah, but oh man, the shot. Oh, fun bit of behind the scenes trivia. The music store that they are filming in, that they
Hmm.
filmed this in, is the same one from Wayne's World.
What? That's
Yep.
awesome. I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Hey, no stairway. Denied.
Okay.
When I found that out, I looked at the architecture and I was like, holy shit, you're right. That archway into the back area, that's where the sign that says no stairway to heaven.
I was just thinking that. Don't play Stairway
Yeah,
to Heaven.
no stairway. Denied. Yeah. But yeah, that was the same one. That's the exact
Okay.
same one. Yeah. Oh no, I love that bit of trivia. That rocked my world. But now I before recording, I read the Fangoria article, and I know that and Curry Barker said that one thing that he wanted to it was still a learning curve for him, even though this movie really looks, crazy professional for a first. You'd think he was making movies forever, but he wanted to do a lot of long takes. He specifically wanted to do long takes because he felt like that was important for the mood. It only took a while for him to realize, oh shit, I should probably do insert shots and the like for the sake of cutting for pacing. But but I will get his back and say there are times where that was a good move because, of course, there's that great shot of Bear in the archway, and out of focus in the background, you're seeing Nikki standing at the register staring at him.
Hmm.
You're not even paying attention to the conversation with Ian. You're still laser focused on
Her
her.
watching them. Yes.
Yeah. You could feel her eyes.
Hmm.
Feel it. And have you ever had that, where you're watching someone where you feel like someone's watching you and then you
You're
look
being
up?
watched. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Not a great feeling.
Not a great feeling, but then you look and you realize it's your cat. And you're like, fuck you, cat. No, no, don't fuck the cat because, again, what we find out.
I was
Well,
going to say that could play into the theory of her being Sandy's ghost.
yeah. Oh, well, yes, it would. Yeah, because the old cat would sit and stare.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
don't know. Maybe they have a point with this.
And around this time, didn't she already like make the shrine to
Yeah.
yeah, she made the shrine in the that
That was
alone
that first morning they woke up together. Boom, shrine.
first
Yeah.
morning shrine on the kitchen floor. I'm like, who taught you that I mean, demonic entity presence, who taught you this is the way you have a cat funeral? No,
Yeah, no,
take it
absolutely
out.
not.
And even then, Bear, buddy, why didn't you bury the damn cat? Just take it outside, dig a little hole, and bury the damn thing.
Yeah.
That would have
Did
been.
did she say where she got the cat from?
I'm banking that Bear probably just put the cat in a garbage bag and probably just put it in the trash bag, in the trash can.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay.
Which again, if you had so yeah, I think my theory about him having legit affection for the cat might be waning just because I'm going, if he any I had pets that I loved, and when they died, no, I dug a hole for that. And I
Yes.
love
Give him
that.
a proper
Yeah, give
burial.
them a proper
Yes.
burial because I love my animals. I love them and
Yes.
give them the dignity of a proper burial because that's what you're supposed to do.
Same. Yeah.
Exactly. Precisely. So yeah. All right. Yeah, I think you probably got him out of the. I think that's where I think he just threw it in the garbage can and he spent more time cleaning the spot where the cat vomited as opposed to and did the whole gas mask and everything. I was like,
Threw it in the garbage can and went to trivia night. Yep.
yeah. I don't know, man. I mean,
Sandy deserved better.
Sandy, yeah, justice for Sandy. We talk about
Yeah.
justice for Nikki, but come on, justice for Sandy. Come on.
Yeah, because when that happened, I was like, well, how the hell did she get Sandy? You didn't bury that cat the way you were supposed
Yeah,
to.
yeah. If anything, she's trying to like come up with like new ways to pay tribute to. It's like, constant press. It's like take the cat to the taxidermist if you want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still screwed up too, but you know what? At least the thing won't be stinking up the place,
It's better than the shrine in the middle of the floor.
especially on the on the kitchen floor, no less. I mean, that's a slippery right there.
And hadn't she just fixed them breakfast too?
Yeah, she made a lovely king size breakfast. I mean, I hate to think she had to go what would have been horrible is if she said like, "Oh, you didn't have anything, so I went to the store and got." Savola going, "Oh no!" If she had said that, I would have immediately been, "Oh, this is going to get bad." You know, just just the idea that she would have had to go grocery shopping to get him that epic ass breakfast. I'm like, "Oh God, no!" Yeah, like that bit in My Stepmother's an Alien. Just like, no, definitely not. Oh yeah. But I love the way the movie plays with you, where because Nikki doesn't go home with him after work, she goes in the other car with Ian, and you think like,
In the end. Yep.
yeah, with Ian, but you're like not questioning anything, and you're just like, okay, maybe things aren't that bad after all. But I love that there's this whole bit where he's on the phone, and then I'm a horror for shadow perspective, like when you use shadows to sell a scare, and I love the silhouette where it's just a shadow blending in with all the silhouettes of the leaves in the back, and it
Mhm.
stays there for a second, but then it starts moving. I that made that and there's no chord or anything like that, just shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm such a fan of that. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you run into in found footage films, like Megan is like Mungo or even most recently,
Oh my gosh, Lake Mungo.
yeah, stuff like that.
I need to rewatch that.
Yeah, I still need to see Megan is Missing. Actually, I still haven't seen that one yet.
You haven't?
No,
Oh my
I,
gosh, that
from what
movie.
from what I've heard, I need to prepare myself for that one. So
For the last act of it, yeah, I was not expecting that.
okay.
And I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm like, okay, they went there. I mean, to me, it was I hated that last act.
Mm, okay.
The
So,
rest of the movie is just kind of eh. And
eh,
that's why I think that's what makes it so jarring at the end because the rest of the movie is like, okay, it's just whatever. And then you get to that and you're like, oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Let
yeah.
me know when you watch it.
I think I think I've been waiting because I wanted to find time to do a reaction video because like I used to, like I did with the coffee
Do
table.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I did with the coffee table when I did with Inside, because I admittedly I was inspired by you because I love the way you were doing those, and I was like, I gotta do that because
Aw.
they're fun. They're fun.
Yeah, they are fun to do.
I will say nothing beat my reaction to the coffee table. That one is still my favorite.
You know what? I still haven't watched the coffee table because I'm too scared to
Oh.
watch it.
Oh no, 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 no. I will tell you
I heard it was kind of implied, but still.
no, the wonderful thing about the coffee table. Now go into it with this mentality in mind. Think of it as that incident when you were a kid, when you broke something in your house and you hid the crime and you're trying and you want to avoid your parents ever finding out about it, but you know inevitably they're going to. And the movie plays with that dread of the inevitability that they're going to find out.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's
I need
what
to add it to the watch
That's
list.
what the coffee table is, and
Okay.
it's playing with that dread all the way through, all the way to a darkly sick and funny finale, like one where I'm like, this is the only way this is going to go. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So, side recommendation for everybody, but funny enough, going back to a movie where pretty much after the ending's kind of inevitable in this case too. So, yeah, then we get to the whole part where he opens the door to Nikki, and they do the silhouette, but they again, maybe with the cat metaphor, one thing cats love to do, hide in the dark, and their eyes are reflected in the darkness.
Yes. Yes. I noticed that with her eyes, and it reminded me of Dr. Sleep. Remember when they would get
Yeah,
that?
with the true knot
It
when
was
they
Dr. Sleep. Yeah.
yeah
Mm-hmm.
when they get the steam and their eyes start going
Mm-hmm.
up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lot like that. And
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
oh man, I'm a horror for when they do that effect with eyes because eyes in the dark are always a freaky thing. But just the idea
Yeah.
of doing it with a person, yeah, Yeah, kind of thing. But I think it's safe to say this is the moment where Bear kind of relents and just lets Nikki in and just says, "Yeah, yeah, she made a shrine to the cat. I don't know. She loves me. It's fine." And then just.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It'll be fine.
But speaking of awkward times going to sleep and with your animals staring at you, let's talk about that bedroom scene.
Which one?
Oh no, we're talking about the one where he wakes up and she's in the corner staring at him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, in the
Yeah.
dark. And you can
Now,
just see enough of her to be creeped out, and you're like, is that you? Is that
yeah, and you can only
uh
hear her, and you just now from what I understand, Indy Navarrete has openly said she was not a horror fan at all getting into this. But in preparation for this, they had her watch Pearl, but they also had her watch Hereditary. And
Mhm.
according to Michael Johnson, like Indy Navarrete like had to leave the room from terror from watching Hereditary, and
Oh,
and that
wow.
influ
Okay.
yeah, and that influence is writ large on the screen from that sequence. Because I will say for me, one of the creepiest bits in Hereditary is that one bit where
Oh my
she's like,
gosh.
yeah, she's up in the exactly
Yes.
where she's up there. I was like going, oh. Oh no, that's yeah, I can't. No. But the idea that they did it here, but even worse is and just oh. And
Mhm.
now and another thing I also heard is that she held her auditions for the movie. She did, just that first scene in the car, but then and the other scene she did was the scene at the party, but she held back. She didn't show them like the full extent of what she had in mind for like a lot of these scenes. So Curry Barker was just as shocked as everyone else when she did a lot of the things she did, especially with that scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was amazing.
Oh,
I'm blown away
yeah.
by her performance.
Oh, yeah. No, everyone's already campaigning for her to get a nomination this year, and I'm right
Mhm.
next to Aunt Gladys and Weapons. I don't think anyone's going to give a performance this year that's going to be as talked about as this one this year. So it's like.
Yeah.
I think it could be a lock, very much so. But I don't know. Okay, so I remember being yeah, I think all three times I was in the theater for this one. This is every single time. This got a great response every single time.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, did you have anyone like losing their mind in any of the screenings you went to?
I think everyone was just sitting there like quietly like, "Oh my God, like what is going on?"
Hmm.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and even just like Chris, even just more so, just when she gets back in bed with him, and he just tries to itch away, and just most of the time you hear just stay. No, this guy's stay. I'm like, yeah.
Yes. Oh man. And I love one where she tells him to go back to sleep and he just like rolls over and he's like, "Okay."
Yeah. I just think you sleep. And then even more so, there's just another great bit where he's just trying to curl up in bed and she's off camera. Why won't you love me?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Talking about she doesn't like her dreams or, she
Oh,
feels like it's not mutual. And
yeah.
that weird voice. Yeah.
And I love how he's just like saying, just don't be this. Just don't be this right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh gee, that's kind of what most guys say whenever like they hook up with someone and and their personality starts changing. And then you just
Yeah.
simply say, don't be this. Don't be like
Yeah.
this. Be like the person I like you to be. Yeah, which again, read into that.
Yeah, just those nights would have been enough for me. Like, okay, one of us is gonna have to die because I can't live like this.
Yeah. I well, first off, I don't think just knowing the whole monkey's paw mechanic, I would never ever. Well, actually, I think after Wishmaster, I don't think I would ever do a wish like ever. Just
I mean,
because
I'm trying to think, I'm like, didn't Aladdin say he doesn't do wishes where he makes someone like love you
yeah,
or
I
that
can't
kind of
make
thing?
anybody. Yeah, he said the three rules were he can't raise the dead, can't make someone love another person, and
Mhm.
no wishing for more wishes, and can't remember I remember there was a third rule. Yeah, so yeah, I can't kill anyone, so don't ask. Yeah, I can't kill. Oh yeah, I can't kill, can't raise the dead, and can't make someone fall in love with another person, and also no wishing for more wishes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Come on, bro. Did you not watch Aladdin? That it
yeah.
just doesn't work.
Yeah, at least Aladdin, or well, I don't know. For me, I mean, Wishmaster would be enough for me to know not to fuck with jinn magic, or either either Wishmaster or Twisted Metal, either one, I'm like, don't fuck with Jin, with wishes because that stuff's going to go wrong, especially if you don't word it correctly. And the way Bear made that wish,
Mm-hmm.
didn't even think about it at all.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I mean, it's like, first off, I never wished for that period, but I'm like, I've always been trying to think to myself, it's like, if I had the opportunity to make a wish, I would have to have a fucking lawyer present.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would be like that episode of What We Do in the Shadows when Nandor's trying to negotiate with the Jinn to make sure that his wishes are like ironclad, so there's no caveats.
Okay, now I need to watch it. And that totally makes sense. You
Oh,
should have a lawyer present.
yeah, you should have a lawyer present.
And I should have watched What We Do in the Shadows.
Everyone needs to watch that. That is like one of the most perfect shows, period. I might have to do an episode on that one too. Yeah, okay.
And see, that's another thing that bothers me. Like, if you truly care about someone, you want them to want to be with you.
Mhm.
You're not going to wish for them to, damn it, Bear.
Yeah, but it's very clear. I wager, I don't think Bear ever even alludes to the idea that he's ever been in a relationship before.
No.
If he's ever been, it very clearly must have ended in disaster. And if anything, probably might have gone so bad that it probably made him the person he is. And a lot of it might be because he fucked it up and he just doesn't want to accept that he might have fucked it up, kind of thing,
Yeah.
which I'm more and more willing to believe. Because anyone who has to make a wish for someone to love them is someone who is so insecure in whether or not he is lovable that they have to make someone love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, precisely. I mean, yeah, I could never ever do that to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so messed up. I don't want to wish for you to want to be with me. Like, I want someone to want to be with me.
yeah. Well, I think a great thing that comes to mind is the Stepford Wives. I mean, when you think about the Stepford Wives and just the whole idea that all the men of Stepford, and the movie does a great. Well, the book and the movie do a great job establishing that these are all shallow guys with no emotional depth whatsoever. So it's little wonder that they're perfectly content with automaton wives who just
Mhm.
begged, bow to their every command. For what little merit the remake had, it did talk about the idea of, is it legitimate? Is this just love, or do you, like, if you actually do love someone, you love them for their faults and their flaws, and if anything, you love them more because this is the person you've spiritually connected with. And I do like that the remake did address that concept, not successfully, but I'm glad they did. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's the thing Bear doesn't realize, that a relationship is a two-way street, and if the traffic's only going one way, how you.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
I can only imagine there's also the kind of universe where the monkey's paw scenario isn't heard of. It's kind of like, when you watch a slasher movie and no one's ever heard of a slasher movie.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Because again, I would never, and oh, gotta backtrack. We have to talk about that shop that he got it at. The people there who run that thing are fucking hilarious.
The
I
people
love
that what?
the people who run that shop are hilarious. Like,
Oh my gosh, yes. I love them. I'd like want to hang out with them,
I would.
especially the guy.
Oh, the guy was. Yeah, don't be coming in here with this energy. Energy.
I,
He's covered in blood, dude.
I'm fucking with you. They're right here.
Yeah, they're right here. Well,
What's the best?
even I gotta say, Michael Johnson, just his delivery. What the fuck is wrong with you? Even I was asking the same thing. It was like, again, look at him. Everyone else is acknowledging this guy is covered in blood. You are the only one who's saying, "Don't come in here with this energy."
Yeah.
But I even love the girl when he initially buys it. I love how she's her first way is like, well, if it's like a fraud, like, dude, we're not fakes, or we're. I love how she gets on
Yeah, we're not scammers.
we're not scammers.
Yeah.
I love how that's her first like go-to defense is like,
Hmm.
the fact you just did that immediately makes me wonder if you actually are. Sorry about that diversion, but I had to. They're great.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, love the guy from the shop.
Yeah. So yeah, so now I guess actually no, from here on in, oh no, man. Yeah, the next morning, it's one thing that he talks to her saying like, no more weird stuff. Turn the corner, the entire door is duct tape.
Oh my gosh. How about when they were at the restaurant before that and Ian
Oh,
calls him?
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yes.
okay, so why are you calling him? Because you just had to go verify the story about Nikki's dad.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, you're way too invested in this. Why do you care so much? And then what
Well,
happens after that is,
yeah,
oh
oh,
my
well,
gosh.
that scene has now been that's I knew that that was going to immediately be turned into a TikTok meme, and lo and behold, the internet did not disappoint on that. Now people are automatically associating that moment with any kind of time where people are doing stuff that pisses you off, and
Yeah.
immediately. And no, my favorite one is that face when you're in an empty theater and someone sits next to you.
Yeah.
Immediately, yeah, and that I was like, yeah, I'm full Nikki at that point. I'm like,
Don't do
don't,
that.
yeah, don't
Yeah.
do it.
No, no, no,
No, no, no, no,
no,
no.
no.
I was like, no, come
I
on.
love that she referenced the whole thing with gosh, I cannot remember her name, but the woman on Get Out, where she's
Oh,
like,
oh,
no, 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 no.
oh, yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that bit. Oh, oh,
Uh,
yeah. I think no, I think I remember they said Indian Every said Get Out was another one that I think she watched
mm-hmm,
for a bit of
mm-hmm.
inspiration on that as well. Um, But actually, no, I'm glad we're bringing up this scene because that's where a lot of major plot revelations occur that really kind of redefine everybody. Because one thing I've always said about this movie, on the whole, to me, I think this movie is also about the importance of communication in any friendship. Because as much as we are going to rag on Bear, as much as we want, and as much as we're going to rag on Ian, everything that has happened here has happened because no one in this friend circle is legitimately talking to each other.
No, and they're all shitty assholes who talk about each other behind their backs.
Yeah,
Every single one of them.
I mean, and even to an extent, this is the one time I would say even Nikki is kind of at fault for this
Mm-hmm.
because for someone who is as charismatic and as confident as she is, and even she says like, no guy knows when I'm flirting with them. It's like going maybe, but the problem is guys are morons, and yeah, they're never gonna do. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. Even I myself never realized I was being. Even when me and Lynn were talking for the first time, I didn't realize Lynn was flirting with me. Like
You're like, oh, she's being nice. Yeah.
yeah, they're yeah. So yeah, guys are morons. They're never going to pick up on that. So and unfortunately, but even more so, there's also the matter of Sarah because her and Sarah were talking with each other where she confided in her saying, "I don't think of Bear that way. Bear's like a little brother to me."
Yeah. And then she turns around and tells Bear, oh, what about Sarah? Do you have feelings for Sarah? Like, I'm sure Sarah really appreciates that you're over here talking to Bear about her liking him. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think they were all assholes.
yeah, and of course, Ian. Of course, we don't find this out until later on.
Mhm.
Ian is holding back something as well, which probably would have been a big nuclear bomb. That, if
Mhm.
anything, if Ian had just come forward with it, yeah, Bear would probably be pissed at him, and Lord knows his preconceptions of Nikki would probably be shattered because I'm sorry, it's like Nikki, really? This is who you're going to bed with? Really? This one?
Yes. Yeah. My brother, who's single, was so mad. He's like, seriously? That's who she's hooking up.
Yeah, and you can't say and you can't do the whole because he secretly has a great personality. It's like no,
No.
no, he really doesn't.
So do you think that's the thing where girls go for shitty guys? Come on, Nikki. I thought you
Yeah.
were better than that.
But
You
I
know
do,
how
but I do like how Sarah makes the observation. It's entirely casual. There's no love going on. It's entirely friends with benefits type thing. And even then, it's off and on. It's not like every night. Oh, I got
yeah.
to go so I can get my rocks off. And no, it's just pure and simple. Just I guess whenever both of them are in the mood, at least it's the idea of just I guess for her, Ian's just a fuck toy.
I think for Nikki, but I think for Ian, he was a little more invested because he cared a little too much
Yeah.
about all
Oh,
this with her and Bear.
you're right. That's a whole other thing in and of itself. And I think
Hmm.
because and Ian no matter even with all his bluster, I think he's just as bad as Bear in terms of the fact of not being able to express feelings because Lord knows he probably, yeah, you're right. Oh man, that does something more. He
Yeah.
probably was just as invested in Nikki as well, where he probably wanted to express that, can we do this a little bit more than just casual fucking?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I think he knows deep down Nikki doesn't think of him that way, but and even so, yeah, I would say man, we have to have a sliding scale of culpability here of like who's like the bigger sinner because
Yeah.
honestly, right now Ian's culpability I think is like through the roof because so much of this shit could have been resolved if he just came out with the fact that listen, I'm having sex with this girl, it's entirely casual. but she has confided in me that she doesn't think of you that way. And honestly, dude, I kind of like her a lot, and I'm trying to figure out my feelings on it too. I care too much for you about a friend that I don't want you to keep stringing yourself along like this. A good friend would have just. Let's go ahead and talk about one thing. A principle I've always said is important is the ripping of the Band-Aid off. Like I am a firm believer in ripping the Band-Aid off. Do you agree with that principle?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, pain is temporary, but ultimately, after the pain of the truth, you got to do it, and then just let them just come to terms with the fact that the wounds heal. You know, you're wounded, but
Mhm.
the wound will heal.
That's how you heal. Yeah, you got to rip the band-aid off, lean into the pain,
Hmm.
and then the healing begins.
Yeah, precisely. Because I think if Ian had just done that, yeah, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, Bear would have been wounded about it. Probably would not talk to Nikki for a while, but Sarah would probably be there to pick up the pieces.
I think it would have opened his eyes to not idealize Nikki so much.
Yeah, because he would then realize that Nikki is just as flawed of a person.
Hmm.
She has her own wants, her own desires, and just she is someone who's obviously very comfortable in herself that she can just get in bed with someone and not really think anything more than other than just that it's just a casual roll in the hay. Because gasp, people are allowed to do that.
Right.
Yeah. I think people need to stop being so damn territorial and possessive and think of sex as like a contract. And some people would rather do some people just don't want to give their jackrabbit a rest for the night, you know?
And I respect that. Like, they know what they're getting into. It's consensual people
Hmm.
getting into it. And yeah.
Yeah, I think Ian's the best. I think Ian's the true villain here. I think yeah. I
Yeah,
think
because I'm like, bro, why do you care so much? Why do you make it such a point to call Bear, oh, she's lying about her dad? Why do you make it such a point to, like, he had a problem with this whole thing
yeah,
throughout the whole movie.
he was kind of, and even then, just doing the whole research and looking up the whole thing about her dad. Now, granted, yeah, it's a good thing he did to really give perspective on the idea that that to show Bear, yeah, she lied about that, and this is even more fucked up. But yeah, Ian was seriously giving me Jason Lee and Chasing Amy vibes. Just the whole idea
Oh my gosh, yes.
when he's trying to find out when he is like, I'm getting your back. I pulled up the whole thing on finger cuffs
Mm-hmm.
kind of things. When in reality, all you're doing is just trying to sabotage the relationship by trying to pull up any kind of details. Now, he makes it sound like he's looking out for him and even in turn looking out for Nikki. But in reality, no.
No,
And yeah,
absolutely not.
yeah,
Looking out for himself. That's it.
yeah. Um, oh, but one thing we have, yeah. Actually, no, we did kind of talk about, but just the whole bit where she stands there waiting for him during his day at work. Yeah, actually, again,
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, well, admittedly, just when it does that pan down, and immediately when first off, I love that he holds the shot, and this is definitely where the Pearl influence comes in. But just the standing there while she's just like smiling. But I was like,
That
I was waiting for where's
that
the trickle?
smile.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
but then I was like, where's the trickle? Where's the trickle?
uh-huh.
Oh yeah, let it flow. And of course he's standing up, and I think I whispered. Actually, the second time I saw it, I was with my friend Rob, and I said like, not on the rug, man. No, that rug really tied the room together.
Another great reference.
I just kept thinking about that rug. The rug was the true victim in this movie.
Yes.
Yes,
That
because it
poor
was a
rug.
rug. That's his grandmother's rug, man.
Yes.
Grandma's
Yeah.
house. And she's covering it in vomit and shit.
And yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't want to know. That's all kind of fluids going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
That
man.
was after she had duct taped the door, right? Because he
Yeah.
left and she stayed.
Mm. And again, this is definitely why I agree with Curry Barker about the principle of holding a shot. Because sometimes when you do it and you're deliberately doing it to be funny, just the holding of the shot of him trying to peel open the door is such a
It's awesome.
great that was such a great exercise in deadpan comedy. And I even love how you even hear Nikki in the background. You want me to help you with that? No, no, no. Or actually, no, or I think she says something like, "Oh, I guess you're having trouble with the door. I guess you gotta stay." It's like, nope, no, I got it.
I got it. Yep.
Backtrack a little bit, but we definitely had to talk about that because that little bit of, and even worse, like when you see that she's already pissing herself at the start of the day, I just kept like, even with the oh my God. The cat, just eating the cat.
Yeah.
Oh God. Um, yeah, oh Jesus Christ. And that was another one with the second time I saw it, I had this woman next to me, great responder, like just one who just like, oh God, oh God. Again, packed theater, so she was just like, and the whole as a second, like I said, opinion cat. I heard the whole audience just go, no.
Yep.
Yeah. Because even worse, again, that meat has been festering for a while. So I'm just like,
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine the smell of that. Dude, how did you get
yeah.
a bite of that? It had to have smelled.
Yeah, he was able to get one bite and then down it. And I was like going, okay, did she season it really well? I mean,
Yeah.
that meat
Oh
would
my
definitely be
gosh.
no. I mean, at the second the cat's dead, if you put it in the freezer, you could make something of it. But no, in this case, that cat was festering overnight. It's like,
Like, man, this poor cat has been desecrated in every which way.
yeah.
The
It's
shrine, the sandwich.
it's like it's a good thing it's not a Rogerio Deodato movie. Otherwise, that cat would have been sodomized,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Honestly, it was like an R-rated version of Eek the Cat.
Yeah. Poor Sandy.
Poor Sandy. Justice for Sandy.
Yeah.
Now Sandy's gonna be turned into poop. Or yeah, just oh dear God. But yeah, just the more just punishment they keep doing to that poor damn cat is just fucking hilarious.
And the lunch that she packed along with the pictures that said you and then the one that said not me.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember what the picture was of, but I think it was it
It
like
it was like these little like Instax Polaroid looking pictures.
yeah.
And it was of them. And so one of them was like you, and then the other one with her said not me.
Yeah, and I think one of them was of him sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was taking, and even worse, later on in the movie, you see the TV and you see that she was even filming him while he was asleep too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one that said not me, I'm like, okay, she's self-aware enough to put this picture in
Oh,
there to let him know
right.
that's not me. And then I'm like, what if she made this sandwich as her real self as
Yeah.
revenge because he's got her trapped in there? But that's a whole other rabbit hole.
Oh,
I'm sure it's a little,
that's a good rabbit hole though. They would be funny to think that she did the cat as a kind of like way of like
yeah.
flipping the bird to him,
Yeah. I
probably.
also thought about how she stood there in the same spot and she like soiled herself.
Yeah.
So part of me thought, and I'm getting too deep with this, but part of me was like, what if she's trying to make, what if she's trying to repulse him? What if
Yeah.
she's trying, you know what I mean?
Oh
I
my
thought about
God.
that for a little bit,
No,
you know? There's
that's a
just so
good
many things you can interpret from this.
yeah. That's actually a really interesting thought. Yeah, just the idea because like I said, she started peeing really, really fast. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm going to soil myself. He's not going to want me anymore like this.
Yeah. But of course, Bear just hell bent to hold on to
Yep.
them. Yeah, he just can't. And I even love how every now and then, she keeps saying, "You wished for this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you wanted." And again, I think that might have been real Nikki peeking through when she says that, because I think that was her like dangling this over, like saying, "I can't control this, but at the very least, I can just tell you that, dude, this is on you. This is what you asked for." Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then, but this is right here in the midst of it. You start seeing the connection between him and Sarah because you find out that Sarah's been wanting to go to college. I think she wants to go to art school, and
Mm-hmm.
she just got a denial, and that she's worried that she may not, go beyond. But this is where you start seeing like the first inklings of the legit chemistry that they could have together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right here at this point, which gets horribly interrupted by the whole cat debacle. But um, yeah, then of course we get to the party scene. Now, apparently, Curry Barker, for the monologue that Nikki has when she, and if you listen to the story that she says, it's basically incestuous a version of Hansel and Gretel, basically.
Yes. I'm
Yeah,
like, what the hell was that? What am I listening to?
yeah. Um, I don't know. I've never played this form of Jenga before, but I'm just like, no. At the second you bring party games into the equation, and you got people, I was like, no. And I've never seen a horror movie where a party game happens and good things happen from it. No,
Never.
never. But just at the second, at the second Bear pulls his, and I'm like going, he's gonna have to kiss Sarah, isn't he? He's gonna do something into it, Sarah, and there's Nikki just staring right there and then giving that amazing.
Her frown, I love that. And she held it for so long.
Yeah. And I can only imagine Indy Navarrete's face must have been so sore by the end of the
Yeah,
filming day to
that
do
was
that.
great.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts.
And
Was
just one,
the Nikki
and
frown.
I gotta also give praise to the extras in that scene. Like I was like, especially when she like gets in between Sarah and him and does that kiss. I'm seeing people in the background watching this whole human comedy go down, and Curry Barker really knew how to make you feel the awkwardness in the room during that scene.
Hmm.
God. Now, one thing I'm noticing that's been even though it's something I've seen a lot of times, I'm noticing a lot. And funny enough, this is the third movie we've done together where it involves self-inflicted head smashing.
Yes.
We talked to me, long legs, and now this.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, so that seems to be a new thing now. I guess everyone's like really terrified about about what happens when someone just decides to pummel themselves to death. I mean, how
Yeah.
does that still work? How's that still working? Even though by now we should be used to that by now.
Oh, it's just so jarring. It's
Yeah,
especially at the party. I was not expecting her to do that.
yeah. Well, and just the fact she's doing it with a bottle and just like gashing up her face, like
Mm.
so bad, and just smiling at the same time. It's like, geez. Honestly, at that point, I'm surprised people didn't just wrestle her down and just take her to the men in the white coats at that point. Oh,
Yeah.
I did see they don't actually explain why, but we see him outside the hospital,
Hmm.
and I'm like, why wouldn't the hospital have taken her? She's got, facial wounds, so it's like, why the hell?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Like what they didn't go into detail with that.
The only thing I could figure, I don't know. I guess they figured, well, oh, you know what possibly might have been? Because unfortunately, because I will say this is one problem because I'm sure hospitals see it all the time, but usually whenever a boyfriend shows up and their girl has any sort of
Mm.
trauma,
Hmm.
immediately the hospital is going to assume that he beat her
Hmm.
and would have to call the cops.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I think that's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he probably was like, fuck, they're going to call the cops. We got to go.
We
And
probably, yeah.
yeah, I think okay, there we go. We just proved, people, there's no such thing as plot holes. No such thing. All they are is just plot points that just don't need to be properly explained. Yeah, that's all there is to it. But that's why. That's why the hospital wouldn't take her. So there you go. And I will say, yeah, that's a stigma that is levied towards men because unfortunately men statistically are far more liable to abuse people than women are. But yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Of course, when you witness the shit you witnessed at that party, I have to question Sarah's judgment. What's the first thing I'm gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm gonna summon him to come to the park with me on a discreet clandestine meeting at night. Yeah, that's gonna go good.
Yeah, in the wee hours of the morning after what just happened.
Yeah. And even beyond that, I think what happens even prior to that is when Bear tries to leave the bed. That's when we get the scene that I think really pushes Bear into full villainy when she says, Bear, kill me. And then
Yeah,
Bear says that chilling ass line where it says, what's so wrong with being with me?
that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
That's all kinds of fucked up. It's like, wow. And okay, so before that happened, he had already called the hotline, right?
Oh
Where you
yeah.
heard Nikki screaming.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, you suck. This is your second time that you know what's going on with
Yeah.
her, that she's not, that
Yeah. I mean,
she's being tortured here and you don't care.
yeah,
I mean, I feel
screaming in
like.
torment, and I love it. I've been making this joke before, but I'm pretty sure the guy on that hotline is probably from the same training camp as the same people behind the substance, where they're just like, oh, these fucking people. Our rules are simple, dude. Come on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You knew what you were getting into.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he shares the same like water cooler with the other guy with the substance. Like going,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I got this from a movie star, and it's like, oh, that's they're gonna try to hold us liable for, it, but it's like, no, we are our rules are clear. We put in a big bold print. You are one. Respect the
Hmm.
balance, dude. In this case, but I love how this, and of course, that is Curry Barker himself on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love he even says like you made this wish, dude, and you have a moral obligation to be there for her because this is what you wanted. So you can
Yeah.
either just unalive yourself or you can just commit to it.
Mhm.
Commit to this thing that this hole that you've dug yourself in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, going on to the brick heard around the world. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I screamed so loud.
Oh,
It's
I
like
wish
it really caught me off guard. Like yeah, I legit screamed.
yeah,
I
I
didn't.
again, this is what I mean by a good orchestrated jump scare. I mean, I this is why I will not condemn jump scares because they land hard. And this one, because and it's clear that Curry Barker is fully aware of how tired jump scares can be. And I think he was able to deconstruct why like the standard ones don't work because you can see them coming like a mile away just by the way the tone of the scene is going and that it's happening at the a particular beat where the jump scare can come in. But the great thing about all the ones here is that they always happen at the most awkward, unexpected moment where you're so caught up in the scene as happening
Mhm.
prior that when it intrudes, because that is life. In life, random shit's going to happen and it doesn't care about where in the script you
Right.
are before it jumps in. So I love the way that this sweet dialogue exchange is happening. Normally, this shit would happen like right when her and Bear are about to like inch towards each other to kiss, but they don't even
Mhm.
get to that before.
Nikki jumps in. Yep.
Yeah, and according to what they said, they only had three panes of glass to get that right, and they accidentally broke one getting it put in, so they only had two takes to get that right. So mercifully, they got it right on the first go. Which
And I think it was such a good placement of it because we were so tense by that time.
mhm,
Like we were so tense. Like you've already broken us down because of all these things going on and then
yeah,
yeah.
and according to what I've heard, that was the scene that gave the movie an NC-17 because from what I
Mhm.
understand, that goes on way longer. Like I think there's like a full like additional 10 seconds of
Oh
of
my
bashing
gosh.
the head on the brick. And I believe Curry Barker said he is fully prepared, like when the movie is released, to give us the unrated cut. So we're gonna see the full head blade.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're well-adjusted people.
But I'm like, Sarah, why? After everything that just happened, why would you text for him to come out? You saw what Nikki did. You saw what's going on. Just
Yeah, I'd say like the biggest,
back
well,
off.
but the only thing I could say that gives legitimacy to it is that she's also there because she wants to share a moment with someone regarding her
Mhm.
future with the school
Mhm.
that and it's the school that she wants to go to and she's like wants someone to share it with because obviously she got it late at night, didn't really get a chance, and so obviously her dad's not there and wanted that moment. And but before we even get to that, it's so now Bears is completely covered in blood and now this piece of paper that was meant to be so momentous is now nothing.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
so crushing.
That was heart-wrenching. Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, Bear's been weathered through this whole college process
Mhm.
thing when they were talking before
Yeah.
he opened up the cat sandwich. They were
Yeah.
talking about that.
Mhm.
But yeah, that when I saw that letter, I'm like, okay, way to like, drive the knife through my heart.
Yeah.
I really felt bad for Sarah.
Oh,
I,
absolutely. I mean, again, in when it comes to the circle of miscommunication, I mean, she herself has had kind of a her own little faults in there. Specifically that, yeah, she as Nikki was trying to tell Bear, is like, dude, pay attention to Sarah. Sarah's kind of into you.
Mhm.
And yeah, Sarah's honestly just as cool as Nikki. So I was like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, only thing I would say is like, can you switch to vaping? That's the only thing I would say is like, yeah, but that's fine. I'm not saying
Yeah.
don't get your nicotine, just switch to vaping, please.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I would just ask, just as a courtesy. But aside from that, no, Sarah was just as cool too. So Bear, you really are just honestly, oh geez, yeah. I'm sorry. It's kind of Scott Pilgrim all over again, except Scott Pilgrim, the whole movie is about him kind of figuring his own shit out to be less toxic. That's like the whole point of that, you
Mhm.
know? Yeah. You know what it is? I think Nikki just needs some evil exes for him to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing good with like all these side references to other non-horror genre movies for this.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm killing it, man. I had to do a final count at the tail end of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now we get of course, but I think here's the moment that really does establish Ian, in my opinion, as the biggest villain of them all, is that here's Bear finally just wanting to get rid of, or at the very least try to find some way to erase the wish. Because I can see his rationale. If obviously the one wish will works, if he gets someone to make a wish saying that I wish Bear never made that wish, that could probably move everything backwards. Like, I mean, probably wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, or at the very least, everything just goes to default back to the way things were. So hopefully, Sarah be alive again, and Nikki would probably be back to herself. But the fact that Ian, his first immediate thought is, you're making this bullshit up to get back, and his first thought is, you want to get back at me because you found out about, because Sarah told him about. This is where we find out that Ian's been getting with Nikki, and Ian's first thought is, "Oh, dude, you're just trying to get back at me. You're just making up all this bullshit to psych me out."
Oh, yeah. He makes it all about him. Just like he was saying that Nikki was trying to make him jealous by getting in a relationship with Bear.
Yeah, and it's like, no, dude, there's a very real possibility that something in here doesn't involve you, and
Exactly.
and because
The
he
world
does
doesn't revolve
not,
around you.
yeah, and because even though, and I will say, I was with my third viewing, I was listening to Bear this time because to kind of fill in my claim, I was like, no, Bear is giving him good, solid evidence that this wish is legit because look at the way Nikki's acting. Everyone is observing. Nikki does not normally act like this. Her whole mood towards Bear has shifted completely, and she's acting in ways that is totally unusual and weird. How are you not accepting the possibility that this wish might be legit?
Right. She's
Yeah,
not herself. Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, I'm sorry, when your friend smashes her face with a freaking bottle,
Hmm.
that should tell you, okay, maybe this wish is real. But instead, no, he just spitefully grabs it and wishes for $1 billion.
Which I keep thinking about the $1 billion sitting in his house.
Oh, oh man, imagine what's going to happen when the imagine what's going to happen I'm assuming he has roommates because that looked like some kind of like shared living because I guess he's in college or something like that, or at least graduated college, and I guess that's some kind of shared living arrangement. Imagine the next guy walking in like going, "What the hell?
Hmm.
Hell yeah!" But then again, knowing that this is obviously some kind of gin magic, I'm sure that that money was probably like fall like a Doctor Strange portal fell into like a bank like a reserve or something, and like all that money like fell in from above, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden the feds are like, "Where the hell is that money?" I'm trying to remember there was a TV miniseries called The Tenth Kingdom where that's what happens. Like he wishes for $1 million, but it turns out that that money came from the bank.
Yeah. It's gonna
And
come with a price. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So again, gin magic, don't fuck with it.
No.
Yeah. So then we get, of course, get to the ending where Nikki just loves her Michael Myers style art pieces because he takes Sarah's corpse. But even more screwed up is the way Nikki defaces herself by drawing on Sarah's
Yes.
tattoos.
And then the hair.
The hair, and she even starts smoking, and she even smokes, like
Yeah.
kind of thing. But yeah, that's and oh god, then we get to, of course, the final bit. Now, this is the greatest, and yeah, Ian gets shot in the head just so unceremoniously, which I'm totally fine with. But
Yeah.
this is where just we just come to the realization Bear did not grow at all in this. He learned nothing from this whole thing because here he is, like about to kill himself. He chickens out of shooting himself.
Mhm.
Then you think, okay, he just probably wanted to kill himself something more peacefully. And then it's like, no, shooting yourself would be quick, dude. But no, then he does the pills,
Mhm.
and you're thinking, okay, he's gonna die peacefully. No, fucker tries to puke.
Yep.
He tries to puke it up. He tries to wuss out of it. He tries to wuss
Yeah.
out of it. He's thinking like in his own deluded mind, he's gonna salvage this whole thing. And it's like, no, there's no salvaging it now. But before you can get a chance to puke it out.
Yeah. Then you hear the little jingle from the One
Yeah.
Wish Willow. Yep.
So at this point, we've set people have been comparing Obsession with Tales from the Crypt, or would you agree with that comparison?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. I can see that being a Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen like a variety. Actually, right now it's on Shutter, and I've been re-binging like crazy. Like we're in the middle of season 4 right now, and there's a lot of scenarios like this where someone wants something so bad that they do horrible things in order to get it, and they get some kind of like wicked comeuppance. But I love that as much as I love the ending where the ending that we have is great, where but unfortunately there is that sadness because unfortunately no matter what happens, Nikki's free, but in the end, her life is fucked.
Yeah, totally. I
You know,
can't imagine like coming to and seeing everything.
again, I think she's seen everything as it's happening. I think she knows that it's all happening all around her and she just can't do anything about it. Like you said, the
Yeah.
sunken place. So I think she
Yeah.
saw everything that's happening. That's why I love when she phases out of it, she's already
Hmm.
changing modes. I think she's just finally come to real. I think at first her shock is like, wait a minute, I'm in control. But now she's screaming like,
Everyone's gone.
I'm honestly, I'm surprised she didn't kill herself anyway, just at the or in that final like pants the TV. I'm surprised we
Yeah.
didn't just hear a banging noise and just see blood spraying on the TV.
Right. For
You know,
her.
and
Yeah.
yeah, just for her because I'm like that would have been honestly just as realistic. But there's another part of me actually kind of it would have even been equally screwed up if Bear didn't kill himself and then um succumbs to the one because she makes the wish to make him love her. And then
Yeah.
like, how messed up would that be? The two of them are like screaming inside again, like being John Malkovich, where John Cusack is like stuck in there, like screaming outward. I'm like, that would just be messed up, just the two of them, or that would be I could picture it. Like, yeah, they're kissing and it's all sweet and all that. But then like maybe just do an alternate cut where they're both screaming at each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I
That'd
think,
be great. What do you call
yeah,
that? Poetic justice or some shit like that?
yeah, just poetic justice. And then
Yeah.
just all of a sudden you hear sirens outside.
Hmm.
You hear sirens outside, and then just blackout. Don't move! Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. Great ending.
Yeah, so good, so perfect. So yeah, I think now I know we said we were going to get deeper in this, but I think as we've gone on, I mean, are you satisfied about all of our little tangents?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about it too. I mean, just like I just feel good about this movie on the whole, and I'm just happy that it's doing so well. So,
Hmm.
so final thoughts on Obsession.
I'm just blown away by how, like, if you really start thinking about things, how you could just like jump into this whole rabbit hole of all these different ways you can interpret things. And I love that so much. I love how thought-provoking it is and
Yes.
how much discussion. And it really just has been interesting for me to see all these short form videos of all these discussions and the comments of people talking about it and their takes on it. And I just, like, I
Yeah,
knew it was going to be good, but I did not know that it was going to turn into this.
I I like to think, and this is the optimist in me coming out, but I would love to think that this is a movie that could kind of help bridge the gap in the conversation between couples and even just men and women or just anyone who's like trying to figure out the right way to go into a relationship. I'd like to think that this movie could help prompt better understanding between people about the necessity of proper communication and just a
Communication, yes.
yeah, because the great thing about the movie is that you're seeing the toxic side of a courtship, but then with the whole side story with Bear and Sarah, you're seeing that no, the best couples just come from natural chemistry, just comes from the idea that just two people are talking to each other and just through natural connection, not even words, just two people just realizing they're very comfortable with each other. And that's where it really happens. Um, and it's one thing that's another thing I also point out to people, as much as I still maintain how important it is, the idea of certain horror, depending on the demographic you're going for, being done through a specific lens. Like if you're doing a movie about trans horror, and like the works of Jane Schoenbrun, I think. Like I saw the TV Glow, because they are a trans person. That movie comes from their lens. The thing that impresses me about Obsession is that for all intents and purposes, like in any other movie, like this would be there have been romantic comedies, I'm sure, about this exact same about this scenario, but always done through the male gaze, just always done consistently through the male gaze, and it's a male wish fulfillment fantasy. It blows my mind that Curry Barker like a guy came up with this story, and then it's very insightful, but like you said, prompts this level of discussion between people in terms of how we should be talking to each other as couples. So I think that to me is kind of astonishing because commonly, whenever I see this scenario done, it's usually someone of a completely different lens, completely, and sticking a pin in the cliches that usually come with toxic ass romantic comedies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, funny enough, you weren't there when we tackled Hard Eyes, but I mean, I don't know what your take on romantic comedies are, but you ever notice how in a lot of, well, hell, even Master Universe did this recently, where a guy is sitting there watching The Notebook. I mean,
Yeah.
Lego Batman, Lego Batman's watching Jerry Maguire and all those, and I'm like going, yeah, guys
Oh
seem to
my
be the ones
gosh.
watching them more often than women are.
Yeah. Freaking Jerry Maguire, that pissed me off. Tom Cruise.
Oh, really?
But
That one
yeah,
pissed you off. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
interesting. You have to when we sign off, you'll have to tell me why later on.
No, I'm just like, don't take him back. Why are you taking him back? Just, yeah.
Yeah, kind of thing. But that's what I mean about romantic comedies.
Uh-huh.
As much as I do enjoy them, there's some I legitimately enjoy. I do believe that they have cultivated a very toxic perception of what relationships are supposed to be. Because when you look at the
Yeah.
production history of most of those, they are written by men and are directed by guys. And they've cultivated a very toxic. And I mean, they're the guys, the kind who say, like, well, the best way to get a woman is just grab them and just kiss them and then just give in to you,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And I think that kind of toxic mentality is the kind of stuff that people think, and that's where the movie Obsession comes in, is that these are that Bear, Ian, these are the guys who are probably fueled on that bullshit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good for Curry Barker. I love that.
And from what I understand, he's already off to the races. I mean, after right when he finished this, he immediately got to work filming a film with Aaron Paul and Bryce Dallas Howard called Anything But Ghosts, and then very promptly,
Oh.
yeah, and then very promptly after that, he's going to be starting work on a new Texas Chainsaw movie.
Yes, I'm excited for his next projects.
For everyone who's going to stay tuned for our year-end wrap-up for the Belial Awards, it's a pretty safe bet that this is probably going to want. I mean, the year's only half over, but this is a pretty safe bet that this is going to be the one to beat this year for my number one. So
Absolutely agree.
yeah,
Yes.
and that's saying something because the first half of this year has been a freaking monster as far as like how the slew of great horror we've gotten this year.
Hmm.
So normally I tag this off with our top kill, but I think both of us are in agreement about what the top kill in this one is. Uh, yeah, so let's go ahead. So one thing I typically do to wrap up, let's do our actually, since it's been a while since we talked, not since Nosferatu, are there any random recommendations for any other movies, new or old, that you've seen that you want to tell us about?
Oh my gosh. No, it's been a while since I'm really into shows right now. I will say Widow's Bay because that's
Yeah,
horror. It
yeah, I've been
on
hearing
Apple
about
TV.
this.
It's amazing. You need to watch it. Just a blend of comedy and horror. I,
Okay,
I love it. Someone described it as like Parks and Rec, but horror. But to me,
really?
it's better than that. I love it. Love it.
Okay.
I love Matthew Reese because I love The Americans, the
Hmm.
series that was on Fox, I think.
Yeah,
But
FX.
anyway,
It's on FX,
this is
yeah.
great. Yeah. This is
Okay,
great.
yeah, this one has been like popping up and a lot of people have been
Yeah.
talking about it. So I'm like, yeah, I don't have Apple TV, so I can't, well, I don't have the actual service for Apple TV, so I can't watch it. So
I was gonna say, see if there's a free trial so you could just binge them all.
I might have to do that as
Yeah,
well.
I think we have one more episode and then
Yeah.
the season will be done, but they're like 30 to 40-minute episodes. So if you get a free trial, you could just binge them.
Yeah, one thing that has kicked off, which I have to cross my legs every time I watch it just because it's freaking sex on celluloid. The Vampire Lestat just kicked off. Uh,
Okay.
as well. Now, it is technically the third season of the Interview with the Vampire series, but very wisely, they decided to just rebrand the show and just call it the Vampire Lestat because this is a adaptation of the Vampire Lestat. The first two seasons were an adaptation of Interview with the Vampire, but this show, if you love the first two seasons of Interview with the Vampire, which frankly I think you should because it's freaking awesome, this series with Lestat taking the lead, it is an erection in television form. It is just so freaking sexy. It is funny. It is
Okay.
gnarly. It is bloody. It is everything. And also for extra measure, you get a kick-ass soundtrack. Like, and the cool thing is, much like Has Been Hotel, every episode that drops, they've been dropping music from the show on iTunes so you can listen to it. So Vampire Lestat, it's only 2 episodes in, but man, I'm already like I'm in ecstasy every time I watch every episode because it's so freaking good. Now, if you haven't read the books, you'll still get a lot out of it, especially if you watch the first 2 seasons. But I have read the book, and I'm going nuts.
Okay, I
I'm
need to
going
watch
nuts.
it. I need a show.
Yeah, no, the vampire, yeah, the Vampire Chronicles they've been doing have been excellent, especially those. As far as movies go, I've been alluding to it the entire time, but on Shudder, this movie dropped called Find Your Friends,
Okay.
that just came out, and this is a movie about a group of friends. They're just going on a big party journey. First, the movie starts off with them on a yacht. Well, our main character is Amber, and she's tagging along with them because she just got out of a bad relationship, and her friends, they're doing the whole like, yeah, just come with us, you just burn off those woes kind of thing, and they're all partying. Well, unfortunately, an incident happens that she finds out that her ex-boyfriend's on the boat with them, so she decides to she ends up going down there, and her friends practically push her with a guy, and this guy takes advantage of her, and she's like saying no, I don't want to, and he just keeps forcing himself on her. She freaks out, and she justifiably like wigs out, smashes a freaking fruit bowl over his head, and they decide, and that's just the start of it. And the whole thing about this movie is that it's about toxic in many ways it's like bodies buys bodies, where
Okay.
it explores like toxic friend dynamics, where friends claim to be your friends but are also self-interested, that they don't really give a shit about your actual legitimate pain. And it's the idea that and Amber in this movie, she kind of knows that and doesn't really tell them what happened. And because of that, it kind of leads them down this horrible spiral, which lands them in a horrible survival situation. It ends up kind of becoming practically Deliverance by the very end of it.
Okay, sounds good.
Deliverance with a little bit of
Check
I
that
Spit on
out.
Your Grave.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
It's messed up. It's awesome. It's on Shudder. That one is, and kind of a lot of things that we just tackled today in Obsession, it's there in Find Your Friend. So I recommend it
Okay.
completely. But
Okay, thank you. I need something to watch.
oh yeah, I'm here to give it.
Okay.
I'm here to give that. With that, and speaking of giving things, go ahead and give everybody your socials, how they can find you.
Okay. TikTok and Instagram, Spooky Scary Sparkle.
All righty. Yeah,
Yeah.
all that above. Spooky, scary, sparkle. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's right. I called you Spooky, scary, sparkle. There we go.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay, there we go. All right, everybody. So stay tuned. Still trying to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of August, but then going into September, it is our horror by proxy month, where we tackle movies that aren't really 100% horror, but definitely dip their toe in that particular pool. So we're talking about Addams Family Values and Addams Family Values, The Witches, Darkman, and Ernest Scared Stupid. And then after that, we're going into the month of Halloween with our customary Halloween commentaries and our discomfort flicks for 2026, which I will not disclose now, but later on. So you got all that to look forward to. Janie, thank you so much once again. So here's to the next big major movie that we have to meet again to talk about.
Yes, thank you. So
No
fun.
problem. All right, everybody. So hope you had a good one. Hope you had a good time decoding this, and definitely look at your cat differently. And if you wish to delve into the dark bowels of human imagination, ask yourself the simple question, what's in the podcast?
Thank you for joining us on this edition of What's in the Podcast. If you find yourself hungry for more deep cuts into the gloriously morbid and macabre, you can also find us on TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube at Narcotic Casserole. You can also follow us on Instagram at Narcotic Casserole 25. Follow us if you dare.